Imagine this. You walk into your office Monday morning with your usual coffee and to-do list, ready to tackle the week ahead. But instead of finding your Gen Z employee at their desk, you discover they've rearranged the entire workspace into what they call a collaboration zone, complete with beanbags and a meditation corner. Your first instinct? Panic. Your second? Maybe it's time to figure out what makes this generation tick before you lose what's left of your sanity. If you've ever felt like you need a generational translator just to communicate with your youngest employees, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're looking into the secret art of managing Gen Z employees without pulling your hair out. And trust us, by the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit that transforms workplace confusion into competitive advantage. Here's what most managers get completely wrong about Gen Z. They assume this generation is just millennials with better technology skills. That couldn't be further from the truth. Gen Z employees born between 1997 and 2012 grew up during the Great Recession, witnessed their parents struggle with job security, and entered the workforce during a global pandemic. These experiences shaped them into pragmatic, entrepreneurial thinkers who approach work fundamentally differently than any generation before them. Let's start with their communication style, which probably drives you crazy on a regular basis. You send a detailed email outlining project requirements, and they respond with a thumbs-up emoji. Meanwhile, you're wondering if they actually read your message or if they're planning to wing the entire assignment. Here's the secret. They did read it, they understood it, and that emoji is their way of saying message received and acknowledged. Gen Z communicates in rapid bursts of information, preferring visual cues and instant feedback over lengthy written explanations. Instead of fighting this tendency, lean into it. Replace those marathon email chains with quick video messages using tools like Loom or even simple voice notes. When you need to explain complex processes, create visual workflows or infographics rather than text-heavy documents. One manager we know started using collaborative boards like Miro for project planning, and suddenly their Gen Z employees became the most organized team members, contributing ideas and updates in real time, rather than waiting for weekly meetings. Now let's talk about their relationship with authority, which probably challenges everything you learned about traditional management hierarchies. Gen Z employees don't automatically respect titles or seniority. They respect competence, authenticity, and leaders who can explain the reasoning behind decisions. When you tell a Gen Z employee to complete a task, they're likely to ask why it matters and how it contributes to bigger goals. This isn't disrespect, it's their way of understanding context so they can perform better. Transform this curiosity into your advantage by becoming a transparent leader. Share the strategic reasoning behind projects. Explain how individual contributions impact company objectives, and invite questions during planning phases rather than after deadlines have passed. One business owner increased productivity by 30% simply by starting team meetings with a 5-minute context session, explaining how current projects connected to quarterly goals. Their approach to work-life balance will probably shock you if you're used to traditional office culture. Gen Z employees might leave at exactly 5 o'clock, decline after-hours calls, or request mental health days without detailed explanations. Before you assume they lack commitment, understand that they watched previous generations sacrifice health and relationships for careers that offered no loyalty in return. They're committed to doing excellent work within defined boundaries, not to being available around the clock. Create clear expectations around availability and communication windows. If you need flexibility for urgent projects, negotiate it upfront rather than expecting it as a given. One tech startup implemented core collaboration hours from 10 to 3, allowing flexible schedules outside those times. The result was higher productivity during focus hours and better retention rates across all generations. Here's where things get really interesting, and this is something most managers completely miss. Gen Z employees are incredibly entrepreneurial, often running side businesses or building personal brands alongside their day jobs. Your first reaction might be concern about divided loyalty or distraction. Instead, recognize this entrepreneurial energy as an asset. These employees bring fresh perspectives on efficiency, technology integration, and customer engagement precisely because they're thinking like business owners. Channel this entrepreneurial spirit by giving them ownership over specific projects or departments. Let them experiment with new tools and processes, then scale successful innovations across your organization. We know one restaurant manager who put their Gen Z employee in charge of social media strategy. Within 6 months, their online engagement tripled and foot traffic increased by 40%, all because they trusted someone who understood digital marketing intuitively. Before we go deeper into advanced strategies, we need you to hit that like button if you're finding these insights valuable, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. We're constantly sharing practical management techniques that actually work in today's business environment, and you don't want to miss strategies that could transform your team dynamics overnight. Let's address the elephant in the room: technology integration. Gen Z employees expect seamless digital workflows and get frustrated with outdated systems or inefficient processes. They'll often find workarounds using personal apps or tools, which might seem like they're going rogue. Actually, they're solving problems you didn't even realize existed. Instead of restricting their tool usage, ask them to evaluate and recommend systems that could benefit the entire team. Their comfort with new platforms often leads to discovering solutions that save time and reduce errors. One manufacturing company saved thousands of dollars annually by implementing an inventory tracking app their Gen Z employees suggested, replacing a manual process that took hours each week. Here's a crucial insight about their learning preferences. Gen Z employees learn best through interactive, bite-sized content rather than lengthy training sessions or thick instruction manuals. They prefer to learn skills just in time when they need to apply them rather than in advance. This means your traditional orientation programs might be completely ineffective. Develop modular training programs they can access on demand, create video tutorials for common processes, and establish mentorship programs pairing them with experienced team members for hands-on learning. One accounting firm increased new hire productivity by 50%. By replacing week-long training seminars with interactive modules, employees could complete as needed. Their feedback expectations also differ dramatically from previous generations. Gen Z employees want frequent, specific feedback rather than annual performance reviews. They're comfortable with constructive criticism when it's delivered respectfully and includes actionable suggestions for improvement. Silence from managers makes them anxious about job security, leading to decreased performance or job searching. Implement weekly check-ins focusing on specific achievements and growth opportunities rather than formal evaluation sessions. Use collaborative goal setting where they participate in defining success metrics rather than having objectives imposed on them. This approach builds accountability while respecting their desire for transparency and partnership in their professional development. Now, here's something that might surprise you about their work motivation. While previous generations were often motivated by climbing corporate ladders or accumulating traditional status symbols, Gen Z employees are driven by purpose, skill development, and flexibility. They want to understand how their work contributes to meaningful outcomes, whether that's helping customers, supporting communities, or solving important problems. Connect daily tasks to larger purpose by regularly sharing customer success stories, community impact metrics, or problem-solving victories that resulted from team efforts. Create development opportunities that build transferable skills rather than just company-specific knowledge. This investment in their growth creates loyalty while preparing them for increased responsibilities within your organization. Managing their career expectations requires a different approach entirely. Gen Z employees often expect rapid advancement and diverse experiences rather than linear career progression. They're willing to work hard for promotions, but want clear timelines and milestone-based advancement rather than seniority-based systems. Create transparent advancement criteria with specific skill benchmarks and timeline expectations. Offer cross-training opportunities that expose them to different aspects of your business, satisfying their curiosity while building institutional knowledge. Consider project-based leadership opportunities that let them demonstrate readiness for increased responsibility without immediately promoting them to permanent management roles. Their approach to workplace relationships also differs from traditional networking models. Gen Z employees build authentic connections based on shared interests and mutual support, rather than strategic career advancement. They're more likely to collaborate effectively when they genuinely like and respect their colleagues, rather than simply working together because job descriptions require it. Foster team bonding through shared experiences rather than forced social events. Consider volunteer activities, skill-sharing sessions, or creative projects that let personality shine through while building genuine relationships. The strongest teams we've observed include members who see each other as real people with interesting lives outside work, not just professional contacts. Here's your action plan for immediate implementation. First, audit your current communication methods and identify opportunities to add visual elements or reduce lengthy text-based instructions. Second, schedule brief context sessions before major projects to explain strategic reasoning and expected outcomes. Third, create feedback loops that provide regular recognition and growth-oriented suggestions rather than waiting for formal review periods. Fourth, evaluate your technology stack through Gen Z eyes, asking what processes could be streamlined or automated. Fifth, develop modular training resources that can be accessed just in time rather than requiring advanced completion. Finally, connect daily tasks to meaningful outcomes by regularly sharing impact stories and customer feedback. The businesses that master Gen Z management aren't just avoiding generational conflicts, they're gaining competitive advantages through increased innovation, efficiency, and customer connection. These employees bring fresh perspectives, technological savvy, and entrepreneurial thinking that can transform your operations when properly channeled. If you want to dive deeper into optimizing your business operations and building systems that work with any generation, we're offering a free book that shows you how to systematically identify and eliminate friction points across your entire organization. This resource reveals the exact framework for creating operational excellence that lets you run your business rather than having it run you. Click the link in the description to grab your copy now. Are you ready to take your management skills to the next level? Our comprehensive business course shows small to medium-sized business owners step-by-step how to set up their businesses for sustainable success. You'll learn proven systems for team management, operational efficiency, and strategic growth that work regardless of generational differences. Access more information about the course by clicking the next video or the link in the description and start building the business you've always envisioned.